It has already been about 6 months since the last video. Time really flew by. Thanks to all of you, the previous videos received a lot of views, and the total has now exceeded 2 million. I honestly never expected the project to grow this much. The international version started as an experiment, but it eventually surpassed the Japanese version in views. That really showed me how important multilingual videos are. We also received many opinions that rarely appear in domestic videos, which were very helpful, so from now on this will become the standard. At the same time, I am also changing the format of the series. From this video onward, each step will be split into separate videos. Otherwise, uploads would end up happening only once a year. With this new format, I should be able to release a video every 2 or 3 months. With that introduction out of the way, let's continue building the portable PS5. First, I bought a base PS5 from Yahoo Auctions. As usual, it is a junk unit. At this point, I rarely buy ones in normal condition. Including shipping, it cost under 25,000 yen, about 1/3 of the original price. However, the condition is terrible. After removing the protective wrapping, the console appeared. The white side panels are missing, and the whole unit is covered in dust. Looking closer, it clearly looks like it was stored outdoors. It was sold as working, but this makes me nervous. The worst part is here. Where the external disk drive connector should be, the board is bent from a strong impact. Yikes. Still, I tried powering it on. The power turns on. The cooling fan is spinning as well. Now the real question. It actually boots. Amazing that it still works in this condition. Since it works, I decided to disassemble it. The warranty seal is still intact, so it probably has never been opened. After removing the cover, there is rust on the heatsink. That is not a good sign. Even the USB ports are corroded. Some of the screws holding the frame are bent too. At this point, it almost looks artistic. Continuing the teardown, wow. I haven't seen one this dirty in a while. There is even animal hair stuck inside. Anyone with allergies would struggle here. Next, I removed the metal shield over the motherboard. The backside of the shield is full of rust. Water must have gotten inside. The mounting brackets for the heatsink are also corroded, with rust flaking off. Finally, we reach the most important part. The motherboard. Aside from the bend and some rust, it actually looks okay. With some cleaning, it should still be usable. Fortunately, the bent section does not contain critical components. Since I will not install a disk drive anyway, this area is not important. I also managed to straighten the board slightly by carefully pressing it. After confirming the motherboard is safe, I checked the heatsink as well. The rust is quite severe. It may not be fully water damaged, but some liquid definitely reached it. After removing the heatsink section, the corrosion becomes even clearer. At least the motherboard survived. Finally, I removed the subboard. This part also has rust, but it seems to be only surface corrosion, so it should still function. Now the main parts needed for the portable PS5 are ready. One more thing to check: whether the console is banned. I forgot to test that earlier. Given the condition, I expected the worst, but luckily it seems fine. Thinking about it, none of the previous ones I bought were banned either. Now that everything works, preparation can begin. First, I removed the liquid metal so it will not spill during work. I also removed the protective pouch. Then I carefully cleaned the rust from the board. In the end, it looked much better. Surprisingly clean. However, I noticed the LAN and USB connectors were damaged. The USB port was only slightly bent, so it was easy to fix. But the LAN connector took a stronger hit and needs replacement. So I removed the connector for now. There we go. A replacement part should arrive later during the build. As for the final design, it will again use a monitor-style structure. In other words, an improved version of the previous build. The last model was probably the most complete version so far. It was also quite practical. However, there were still many areas to improve. Summarizing those points, it looks like this. There are quite a few. Among them, battery operation will be the main focus. But adding a battery increases weight. So this time I will use a detachable system between the battery and power module. That way both are not installed at the same time, which helps reduce weight. With those ideas in mind, the goal of this project is a battery-powered portable PS5.